If you're an entrepreneur with plans to build an enterprise where you are acquiring real estate, you're acquiring other businesses, you're looking to accumulate and or acquire other assets outside of real estate and other businesses like stocks, bonds, crypto, and the list goes on, then as a fellow entrepreneur, I would highly encourage you to make sure that the first entity you set up is a holding company. Now, I'm not a tax strategist, although I have one. I'm not a business attorney, although I have one. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that having my entity structure set up, beginning with a holding company, which is what a parent company is, it has helped me to not only keep my mind open to the endless potential and possibilities of what I want to do in the future, but at each phase of my expansion into other things like real estate, investing, or business acquisitions, it just seems to make that transition easy. So if you're not familiar with the holding company concept, of course, there are many other videos that you can watch on my YouTube page. All you have to do, hopefully you've subscribed, but when you go to my YouTube page, just go to the search engine and type in holding companies. I probably have a couple hundred videos teaching all the ins and outs of holding companies. That's one of the things that I've been able to do as a business consultant, helping countless people start and structure their holding companies and their operating subsidiaries, as well as we have an educational program with documents, forms, walkthrough video tutorials for students who just want to learn on their own. But let's just say it's you. In my case, it's me and my wife. So if it's just you, that holding company LLC is going to be a single member LLC. If it's just you, if it's you and your spouse or you and 3 of your siblings, it will be a multi-member LLC. But what this does, for me, it has provided the freedom to keep my mind open to the endless potential and possibilities of the other things that I want to do, because what I've seen is a lot of entrepreneurs, they have big dreams. So many things we want to do. But most of the times we have to start out doing what? Just operating a business, figuring out what products we can sell or what services we provide. And when we have these ideas to sell a product, whether it's a hat, a hoodie, some apparel, or whether it's a service-based business of cutting grass, shining shoes, trimming trees, I don't know what it is. We typically set up an LLC around that operating business, and then we stand at the top of it. But what happens when I get bored? What happens when, as an entrepreneur, my mind is racing into 10 years from now and I lose interest? Well, most of the times when entrepreneurs don't have anything else to do but this operating business, they either shut this down or they give up, and it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But when you set up a structure like this, where you have a holding company, which is your parent company, even if you do have an operating entity, I'll put OE for operating entity, that you're going to use to sell products or to sell services or provide services. Well, if at any point you get bored, if at any point it dries up, if at any point you feel like pivoting into something else, well, you don't destroy or throw out the main business. You just dissolve that one, but you still have this in place. And then when it's time for you to get into real estate investing, when it's time for you to get into business acquisitions, all you're doing is setting up these entities under your main entity, so that every operating entity, every investment entity that you create or that you acquire or asset you accumulate, they all come under the umbrella of the main company, but it doesn't change the foundation of this company that you're standing on. I found that to be very beneficial to me, not just mentally, but even operationally, because it allows me to stay free and to stay flexible with all the ideas that I have and all the things that I want to do. So I currently have a holding company. We currently have a real estate investment and asset management company under our holding company. We also have divisions that operate under our holding company. They're not separate entities. They're just operational divisions, which make up our consulting, our coaching, and our education. And so we haven't branched them out into their own LLCs because they seem to work well as operating entities. But of course, as we grow and expand, it's just easy for us to drop the education into an LLC, the coaching or consulting into an LLC if need be. But for now, it's working the way it is. The most important thing is where you start and how you start. And I would recommend, as a fellow entrepreneur, for you to start with your holding company. Now, let's just say, since we're already in this discussion, we deep now, but let's just say you already own a LLC and you have your plumbing company, your apparel company, you have whatever the operating entity is, and now you're learning this new idea of setting up your parent company. Do you dissolve this? Not necessarily. Now, if it ain't doing nothing and you've had it and it's just sitting, then maybe you can just scrap it and keep it moving. But if you have contracts, if you have customers and clients, if you built somewhat of a base of your brand being known in the marketplace, then you may very well want to keep it. You may have a credit card or a line of credit. You may have a bank account. You know you got some activity. Then you don't necessarily have to dissolve it. All you do is set up your holding company, which will be the new entity. And once you get it set up, meaning that you have your EIN number, your Secretary of State registration, your operating agreement, your bank account, it's easy for you to transfer the ownership of this LLC from you as the owner individually to your new holding company. It happens all the time. This is where the whole world of mergers and acquisitions come from. A lot of times they set up new entities, they merge them. It's easy to do. Again, if you need more information about the ins and outs of how to start and structure holding companies, we have courses, do-it-yourself tutorials with all the documents and forms, which work anywhere you are. We have people outside of the United States who learn the principles and put them to practice in other countries. And of course, throughout the United States of America. You're free to click the link in the description. Reach out to me and my team. We'll be more than happy to direct you to what course, what program, or what mentorship or coaching that you may need to take your business, your ideas, your operations to the next level. I'll see you in the next video.